Hello, my name is Matt Ferreira, Business Administrator for SAU 21, and I'll be presenting the Southampton School District's proposed operating budget and associated warrant articles for fiscal year 2020-2021, which will be included for vote at ballot on March 10th of 2020. The first warrant article is the operating budget in the amount of $2,536,312 with a default budget of $2,539,326. So when we're creating the budget, the school board takes great care in aligning the school's goals and visions with the overall community's vision. So as you know, a budget is a reflection of the community's values. So as such, the school board is proposing an operating budget that really reflects an investment at the Barnard School to provide our students an environment that emphasizes the development of the whole person and provides a program of strong academics and offers a sense of community focus. In that same vein, the school district was established to provide investment and resource allocation that enhances academic programs and experiences that supports all of our students. So this included four primary objectives for the 2020-2021 school year, including the investment in a world language program to provide adequate course scheduling for grades 6 through 8 to meaningfully address the transition to high school world language curriculum requirements. We've also focused on a student learning to fully maximize and leverage the implementation of our SAU-wide competency-based education initiative. This is the third year of the CBE initiative, where we're looking to align our curriculum across the entire SAU and transition to competencies in Barnard. Additionally, we're looking to support social and emotional learning, K through 8. And finally, we're looking to provide appropriate funding and allocation in order to provide the opportunities in education that empowers individuals to be caring, competent, responsible citizens who value learning as a lifelong process, while also being cognitive of the fiscal responsibility to the community and taxpayers of Southampton. So when we look at creating a budget, we always need to be aware of enrollments. So we take a look at enrollment projections that were conducted by the New England School Development Council. We do contract them to provide these projections. Currently, these projections are 2 years old. The SAU has budgeted for this to occur again next year as part of the SAU budget. This is really important as we look for short-term and long-term planning, particularly with a small school such as Southampton, where a fluctuation in enrollment can really create a big variation in budgeting. Furthermore, the high school component is just as important. As you know, we do tuition our students to Amesbury High School, as well as offer the opportunity to attend Winnicott or the Seacoast School of Technology vocational school. Currently, as you'll see, we have experienced an increase over prior years, and we do expect it to be fairly flat over the subsequent 3 years. So as mentioned before, the Southampton proposed operating budget is $2,536,312, which does reflect an increase of 8.28%, or $193,987 increase over the prior budget year. Additionally, this proposed 2020-2021 operating budget is $3,014 less than the default budget, or 0.12% reduction from the default budget of $2,539,326. I will note that this budget really does reflect a lean budget that includes significant reductions and or level funding on all discretionary accounts. And really the overall increase is due to contractual and legally mandated expenditures that were out of the school board's control. Those budget drivers for this budget represents really four components, which amounts to $187,680 of the total $193,987 increase. The first of which is special education, which is seeing an increase of $57,758. This is based on student need as dictated by the individual students' education plans, their IEPs, which are mandated by state and federal law. Additionally, we're seeing a increase in our high school tuition in the amount of $47,477, which is due to an increase in our incoming ninth grade class for 2020-2021. This is actually slightly lower than what the actual cost. We did reduce this amount by $15,000. This would be approximately $63,000 without that reduction, with the intent of withdrawing $15,000 from the tuition stabilization fund. Our employee benefits are increasing by $38,602, and this reflects increased health insurance costs, which reflect staffing changes that has resulted in election changes. So when an employee leaves and they're replaced, they may be replaced with a higher cost plan, a lower cost plan. In this case, it's resulted in higher cost plans. Additionally, we had a 1.8% guaranteed maximum rate for our health insurance premiums, as well as increases to our retirement contribution, FICA and Medicare, long-term disability insurance, all due to increased salaries based on the new CBA. Finally, in reference to the CBA, we did have our teachers' collective bargaining agreement passed last year, and that's increased $43,943, which reflects a 2.75% cost of living adjustment, as well as step increases per the new CBA. So if you remove these four components, these four drivers of the budget, the actual budget increase would only be $6,307, or a slight increase of 0.27%. So this really reflects how lean the remainder of the budget is, and we really took a hard look at where we could reduce in other areas of the budget. So embedded in this overall budget, there are three classifications of employees. One was the aforementioned teachers union, so the Seacoast Education Association, which per their CBA includes a 2.75% cost of living. Another employee classification is our Seacoast Educational Personnel Association, which is our paraprofessional union. Their agreement is currently up after this current year, so they are a separate warrant article, which we'll address later in the presentation. So there is no cost of living adjustment included in this operating budget. It's in the separate warrant article. Finally, there are our non-union employees. This includes our administrators, our food service workers, our facilities staff, our office staff, technology staff. What we do for those employees is we benchmark it against the rate of inflation. So we take a look at the Consumer Price Index, CPI, for this geographic region. And from July of 2018 to July of 2019, we did see a rate of inflation of 2.0%. As such, we've included a cost of living adjustment of 2% for those non-union employees. So moving into the budget functions, I'm just going to briefly explain each functional area, as well as any rationale or reasoning for an increase or decrease in that function. So for regular education, we've budgeted $609,980, which is an increase of $48,446, or 8.63%. So as I had mentioned earlier, this is primarily due to the new teachers collective bargaining agreement that includes cost of living adjustment and step increases. Additionally, we've increased our substitute teachers accounts, which is based on actual expenditure history. So throughout this entire budget, what we did was, for the accounts that were discretionary, that have kind of normalized spending, that we didn't have any specific initiatives or investments in, we took a look at the expenditure history, both on prior year as well as 3-year average, and then if we were not spending those accounts, we'd reduce it accordingly, or if we were overspending, we'd increase it. In this case, for substitute teachers, we were under budgeting, so we did increase that slightly. Additionally, we're investing in a 0.2% world language position. We've increased that 0.2 to a 0.3, so it's actually an increase of a 0.1. And this is to provide for adequate course scheduling for our 6th through 8th grades, to really address the transition to high school world language curriculum requirements and adequately prepare our 8th grade students moving into 9th grade and the world language requirements there, to address those tests and requirements. Additionally, the increases were slightly offset by the creation of a more cost-efficient SAU-wide full-time ESOL teacher. So that's English as a second language. So that's part of our new aligned SAU model, where we're looking for shared resources and efficiencies. And this is one example. So we did take note that we had part-time ESOL teachers in multiple districts. So we're actually saving money and hopefully getting a higher quality teacher and providing better service by hiring a single ESOL teacher at the SAU level, and then sharing those resources amongst the various districts. Our special education budget is $471,217, which is an increase of $46,593, or 10.97%. So this is primarily due to an increase in professional services, our speech and language and BCBA service needs, as well as the staff cost of living adjustment and step increases. And I will note that these expenditure adjustments in special education is based on actual student need and is dictated by students' IEP, which is mandated by state and federal law. Our student activities budget is $14,300, which is an increase of $1,481, or 11.55%. The primary driver for this increase is due to the anticipated full participation of all athletic teams and groups. In previous years, we were under budgeting based on less anticipated participation numbers. Part of this is that we have seen an increase in enrollment at Southampton, as highlighted with our enrollment projections, but also we're seeing more participation with the students that we have. So we are at capacity with our activities. Our guidance account is budgeted at $14,414, which is an increase of $893, or 6.6%. And again, this reflects the C collective bargaining agreement with cost of living adjustment and step increase. Similarly, our health budget is $67,539, which is an increase of $10,510, or 18.43%. So in addition to the collective bargaining agreement, cost of living adjustment step increases, there's also an anticipated track advance for this budget. Our improvement of instruction is budgeted at $8,076, which is a decrease of $1,575, or 16.32%. And this reflects a slight decrease in our curriculum salaries, testing, in-service training, and professional development. And again, this is based on actual expenditure history. Our educational media account is budgeted at $201, which includes no increase to the account budgeted. Our technology budget is $46,491, which is a decrease of $6,215, or 11.79%. And this reduction is due to decreases in our technology salaries due to staffing changes, which were slightly offset by an increase in software. And I will note that we did consolidate our software expenditures into a single account. Previously, there were two software accounts, so that artificially, increased one account and decreased one, but it was a net level gain. Our Board of Education budget is $18,803, which is an increase of $470 or 2.56%. And this slight increase reflects adjustments to our legal, postage, and advertising accounts based on actual expenditure history. Our SAU Services budget is $60,541, which is an increase of $4,094 or 7.25%. So this is for the central services of the SAU, so the superintendent's office, fiscal services, AP, HR, and this reflects our new aligned model where we're looking to become a more cohesive SAU as a whole, as opposed to individual school districts operating autonomously. We feel that we can work more efficiently and provide better service by working together, sharing our resources, aligning our curriculum, and really creating some operational efficiencies. We've already recognized some cost savings and efficiencies. As noted earlier, we've hired an ESOL teacher which each district is recognizing savings, which totals out to be about $35,000, and we anticipate better service. Additionally, we've gone to direct billing for Medicaid, which will result in a higher percentage of our reimbursement for Medicaid. Finally, we have looked at consolidating our special education transportation. That way, each individual school district is not busing individually, where we can share routes when we're sending students to the same out-of-district placement. So it's this type of thinking which has not traditionally been done in this SAU, where we think we can really benefit from. I will also note that the SAU Services account budget did not have an increase. However, the way it was that the SAU Services is allocated, Southampton did see a slight increase because it's based on property valuation and enrollment. So Southampton has seen an increase in enrollment, whereas other school districts within SAU 21 have seen a decrease in enrollment. And in that manner, the appropriation or the allocation to Southampton was slightly increased. Our school administration budget is $134,425, which is a decrease of $1,598 or 1.17% reduction. And this is due to a reduction in budget, salary, telephone, and postage accounts. Our buildings account is budgeted at $116,641, which is a decrease of $7,786 or 6.26%. And this reflects a reduction in our repair and maintenance, bottled gas, fire protection, and salary accounts based on actual expenditure history. The decrease was slightly offset by an increase in our budgeted water, which includes testing, filtration, and service expenditures. Our grounds account is budgeted at $12,330, which is a decrease of $450 or 3.52%. And this is due to a slight decrease in our snow removal account based on actual expenditure history. Our transportation budget is $79,199, which is an increase of $13,095 or 19.81%. So this is primarily due to our special education transportation, which again is based on student need as mandated by their IEP services, as mandated by state and federal law. The remainder of the increase reflects our second year of the 5-year contract with First Student, which supplies our regular education, athletic, field trip, and other transportation services. Our employee benefits is budgeted at $383,950, which is an increase of $38,502 or 11.15%. This reflects a 1.8% guaranteed maximum rate for our health insurance premiums as well as increases in our FICA and retirement due to salary increase, which are based on our new collective bargaining agreement with C. Our high school tuition is budgeted at $496,898, which is an increase of $47,477, or 10.56%. And this reflects the addition of 4 high school students. And as I noted earlier, we did reduce the total increase by $15,000 with the intention of withdrawing funds from the Tuition Stabilization Expendable Trust. Our inter-fund transfer is budgeted at $1, and this reflects no increase to the budget. The inter-fund transfer purpose is to transfer funds from the food service budget, from the general fund into the food service fund. Those are 2 separate funds, and if the food service fund runs a deficit, we are required by law to cover that deficit via the general fund. Similarly, our food service budget is only $1,305, which is an increase of $50, or 3.98%. And this reflects an increase in milk consumption. This brings us to the default budget, which is $2,539,326, which is actually $3,014 more than the proposed operating budget of $2,536,312. I will note that the default budget is based on the prior year operating budget and reduced or increased, as the case may be, by debt service, contracts, and other obligations previously incurred or mandated by law, and then reduced by any one-time expenditures in the previous operating budget. So that brings us to the second warrant article for the Seacoast Educational Support Personnel Association. This proposed collective bargaining agreement is for our paraprofessionals, our CESPA employees. These are some really important employees that provide services in each of our schools. These are our staff members that are working directly with students, both our special education students who need direct service, as well as our regular education students. This is particularly important as we are rolling out our competency-based education initiative, which really requires personalized and individualized attention and learning. So these are really invaluable employees that are at a low cost. The average annual salary is $21,150. However, they are providing an incredible return on investment in service to our students on the ground level, at the front lines, every day in our classroom. So what this CBA provides is better compensation and benefits that we hope will help us retain and attract these employees, as well as contractual languages so that we can better manage them, and also safeguards us against the Affordable Care Act IRS penalties that we have been incurring for not offering affordable health care. So this is a 4-year agreement. In year 1, we are offering a 2.5% cost of living adjustment. In years 2 through 4, that's reduced down to 1% cost of living adjustment plus an extra top step. We tiered this out with the attempt to offer kind of a baseline health insurance for these employees, and we've tiered it out over multiple years, hence the 2.5, and then drops down to the 1% for 2 through 4 years. Specifically, the health insurance that we're offering is provided for single coverage for a low-cost site of service plan. And as I mentioned, we're making a tiered approach. So in year 1, the district will be contributing 0% of the health premiums. Year 2, 40%. Year 3, the district will be contributing 60%. And then in year 4, which is our ultimate goal, is for the district to provide 80% of the health insurance premium. As I noted, again, this is for just a single coverage. It does not offer 2-person or family, and it is our lowest cost plan. This is particularly important because we have been seeing significant turnover across the SAU at the rate of 25%. Additionally, we're seeing we're seeing it very difficult to hire new employees. It's the number one oft-cited reason for these paraprofessionals to leave the district, and then we're seeing months lead time before we're able to hire new employees. The candidate pool is very small. This is particularly difficult when we're looking at our comparable districts in the area, the other SAUs who offer better compensation with full benefits. Additionally, 2 of our districts within SAU have been levied the IRS penalty for not offering affordable health care. Per the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, if an employee works 30 hours per week, we need to offer them affordable health care. However, per the CBA that we have in place for CESPA, that hour threshold is at 35 hours. So as such, we are scheduling these employees at 34.9 hours per week. So due to that 0.1 hour, we do not offer them health insurance, and as such, we are exposed to that IRS penalty. In addition, we have made some language adjustments to help the school administration better operate and manage our team more effectively. This includes assigning a 30-minute work week, 30-minute meeting per week for these employees to complete any necessary paperwork, attend relevant meetings, or other activities that are assigned by their supervisor. This is particularly important when looking to submit for Medicaid reimbursement. They do need to file paperwork in regard to getting that reimbursement. Additionally, we're asking these our paraprofessionals to attend a monthly staff or department meeting after school hours. Currently, the way we've scheduled these employees, they come in, do their job, and leave based on the limited hours offered. So there's really no opportunity for team building, for being part of the community, and contributing to the school as a whole. Additionally, we've identified sick and personal leave as an issue across the entire SAU. We have a mentality of use it or lose it, and this is something that we're working through, both at the management level as far as instilling a better climate, and where people understand that it's important that all of our staff are in the classroom with our students. But we're also looking at contractual language that can minimize unnecessary use of sick and personal days, which includes abuse language. We've streamlined and simplified our sick leave bank. We've instituted a cap on personal leave in the months of May and June per school, as well as looking at adjusting other language, including bereavement language. We've clarified the arbitration process, use of facilities, and hiring practice. So, in regard to costs, year one cost to Southampton is $4,200. Year 2 through 4 ramps up slightly due to the inclusion of health insurance. So years 2 is $7,200, year 3 is just under $6,700, and year 4 is just over $8,100. So it's really minimal when looking at the overall context of the school budget. However, we do feel like the return on this investment is huge. These are extremely important employees that really are an integral part of our school district. Speaking of impact to school district, I had mentioned the turnover rate that we're experiencing. This creates not only a cost from a hiring and and onboarding perspective, because there are very real costs when there's churn of employees, but there's also costs to the actual service that our students are receiving. I can't express the importance of consistency, particularly not only in the regular education class, but also for our special education students that require one-to-one support or other supports from our EAs. This can create major issues if there is it's a rotation of employees that are coming into their lives who are working with them. As I mentioned, our candidate pool is very limited, and we're just not competitive versus other school districts. So we hope that with this new CBA, that this will help us attract better qualified employees that want to stay with us, and will work with our students over a period of time. One last note in regard to Warrant Article 2 is that with our collective bargaining agreements, we do have a collaborative agreement across the entire SAU. So as such, this warrant article needs to pass in all 5 districts. So that includes our Winnicott District, Seabrook, Hampton Falls, Northampton, and Southampton. Some of our towns have it on 2 ballots. So this is incredibly important, because if it fails in any one of those districts, it fails for everyone. So it is important. It is extremely important to vote this warrant article through. The third warrant article is our Tuition Stabilization Expendable Trust in the amount of $10,000. So the Tuition Stabilization Expendable Trust was established for the purpose of supplementing and safeguarding the school district against anticipated increases in high school tuition due to projected enrollment increases. I will note that the proposed 2020-2021 operating budget includes a reduction of $15,000, which with the anticipation of withdrawing those funds from this expendable trust. Our current balance is $41,451, so that will be reduced by $15,000. Warrant Article 4 is our Roof Expendable Trust in the amount of $15,000. And this was established for the purpose of setting aside funds for anticipated roof replacement at the Barnard School. It's incredibly important to note that our gymnasium roof condition has significantly worsened over the last year. We continue to expend funds to temporarily patch this gym roof. However, the roof seam continues to be a major issue, and we experience persistent leaking. The concern of water damage has led the board to prioritize this roof replacement when sufficient funding is available. Currently, we have just under $45,000 in this trust with a target of $100,000. But I can't stress the importance of this roof trust, because we are very worried that the continued leaking of the gymnasium roof will create additional costs due to water damage, and we hope to resolve this sooner than later. Our Special Education Expendable Trust is warrant article number 5 in the amount of $15,000. So our budgeting and associated funding for special education continues to present fiscal challenges to our district, and this isn't unique to Southampton. This is really a state and national problem. So this Special Education Expendable Trust was established for the purpose of funding unanticipated special education costs. As such, it is real beneficial to replenish the Special Education Expendable Trust to safeguard and mitigate future unexpected costs. I will note that funding for the Special Education Expendable Trust comes from potential available year-end fund balance, so it is not raised via additional taxation. It is used from unreserved fund balance. Our current balance for this trust is $142,552 with a target of $400,000. I will also note that the target has been increased from $300,000 in previous years. That target was set years ago, but since then, due to cost escalation, we have increased it to $400,000, and that's based on a worst case scenario out of district placement. So, for example, at Winnicott, we have a student placed out of district at $450,000 and another one for $475,000, and that could occur in any one of our districts, where a family may move in the district that requires these services, or students' needs may change, and we may need to place a student out of district. It is a very real risk. Warrant Article number 6 is our Building Maintenance Expendable Trust in the amount of $20,000. So the Building Maintenance Expendable Trust was established for the purpose of funding and safeguarding the school district against building and facility-related costs or building maintenance-related expenditures. It's important to note that funding for the Building Maintenance Expendable Trust comes from any potential available year-end fund balance or unreserved fund balance and is not raised via additional taxation. The current balance is $35,386 with a target of $150,000. Warrant Article number 7 is discontinuation of the Generator Expendable Trust. So we currently have an expendable trust that was set up years ago for a purchase of a generator. The proposed warrant article will dissolve this trust and return the unexpended funds to the town, and this will be used to offset assessment. Finally, warrant article number 8 is a citizens petition for high school tuition. So the purpose of this citizens petition warrant article is for the school board to negotiate a tuition agreement with the Winnicott Cooperative School District to allow Southampton students to attend Winnicott, as on such terms and conditions that the Southampton School Board shall determine are in the best interest of the Southampton School District. I will also note that if the tuition rate is more than the tuition rate under the Amesbury High School agreement, the Southampton School District will pay the full amount. So there's a differential there that this petition is asking the Southampton School District to cover that delta, which currently is about $6,000 to $7,000 per student. In any event, the parents would be responsible for providing the student with transportation. So that brings us to the end of our proposed warrant articles for the 2020-2021 school district. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Southampton community. Specifically, I want to thank the school boards, parents, students, staff, and really the community at large, just for the outstanding support of the Barnard School. So thank you.